All right, welcome back to Blue City Reviews. Thanks for watching. Got a bit of a wild card today. Howling 6, which I just watched earlier. I received this DVD with Howling 5 also in the mail. This usually goes for like 30, 40 bucks. I managed to find it for $5.99 or something with shipping. So this was a steal. I expected it to show up all beat to hell, but actually it's in pretty dang good condition. Disc is clean. Oh, Big Lebowski. The disc must be in the player, but it plays great, and this is super hard to find for such a cheap price. Now, obviously, there's no defending either of these. The Howling series is very much despised by horror fans. In fact, I've heard numerous people call it the worst series ever, which is odd to me because that means they haven't sat through the Amityville horror series. And I'm not just talking about like, one, two, three, four, the remake with Ryan Reynolds, anything beyond. I'm talking about like Amityville Vanishing Point, right? Shit like that. The Polonia Brothers stuff, Amityville Exorcism. Dig deep. I mean, really. There is some wild stuff out there. Anyways, back to The Howling. I enjoy the first three. The four, I could take it or leave it. I know people just despise that movie. I can take it or leave it. This type of thing, this direct-to-video type of horror thing, in the late 80s, early 90s, that's what you had if you didn't want to go to the theater. There was no Netflix, no streaming, and way back in those days. You had what was down at the VHS rental place or what was on cable, and a lot of times they were the same thing. So when a new Howling movie came out, you rented it, regardless of whether or not you were going to like it. Excuse me. So, yeah, I was first in line for all of these the Friday they came out or whenever VHS were released back then. And, I didn't remember much about this. In fact, watching this again earlier, Howling 6, The Freaks, 1991, I'm not sure if I would ever seen this, and I'll get crucified for saying this, but this is highly entertaining. I mean, really, for just goofy entertainment value, one of the best in the series. Now, Bruce Payne is in this as spoilers here. Come on, 1991. Bruce Payne is in this, phenomenal actor, as a vampiric head of this carnival, and he sort of recruits these freaks into this carnival, and they travel the country, and he's does the shit that vampires do, and sort of kills from town to town and picks victims and young women and whatnot. Now, there's a werewolf hunting him for a past encounter that I forget what the hell happened there. It's not important. And this werewolf wanders into town, finds a job with a guy who this local yokel who needs his house fixed, and he sort of becomes friends with that family, falls in love with the guy's daughter, and when the carnival comes into town, that complicates things because he's hunting this vampire, but now he's got something to lose because he loves this girl, and he's become fond of the father. They're like best friends. So, still fighting this cold. Not COVID, just a chest cold. My beautiful fiance brought home from work. So the plot is actually really good here. Now, this is low budget. We're talking one take filmmaking. And what I mean by that is the production was so rushed, when something went wrong, they couldn't go back for a second or third take. You can tell they're just like, Ed Wood style, fuck it. We got to use this. There are boom mics that loom overhead, and I don't know how many shots. A dozen? Maybe not quite that many. It seemed like maybe more. There is a prison cell where the bars are just falling off of the hinges as the actors are ranting back and forth at each other. The guy could so easily just push the bars aside, walk out. That becomes hilarious, especially since they didn't bother to dub in the sound of metal on the bars. It still sounds like wood or plastic or whatever the hell banging around in there. But you know, I can have fun with that because I come from low budget filmmaking and I know what that's like. Now, I would never do one take filmmaking. I need 12, 13, 50 takes. I'll do it till I get it right. But I get this and I get what they were trying to do. And the makeup in here. I mean, now I have nothing against CGI. I'm not this, I'm not opposed to CGI. I think computers have made the lives of filmmakers infinitely easier and we can do things that we could never do before. But this old-fashioned makeup, even done on the cheap by Todd Masters and Steve Johnson. Horror fans know who Steve Johnson is, and if you don't, just Google his name, go to his Wikipedia page. He has done so much amazing stuff. But their work in here is really good. Yeah, it's done on the cheap. Not every effect is perfect. But there's stuff in here, particularly of a vampire dissolving in the sun, at dawn is really, really interesting stuff. I mean, it looks good. For 1991, come on. This is not bad stuff. I mean, certainly worth watching with some friends over a couple beers or whatever. I don't drink that much anymore, but if you're looking for a cheesy party movie in October, nothing too heavy, Howling 6, The Freaks, and Howling 5 I enjoy too. Of course, anybody who's listening to this is cringing, but we'll save my thoughts on Howling 5 for another time. Howling 6, The Freaks. I can't recommend it, but to a certain audience, I definitely can. Cheers. Thanks for watching Blue City Reviews. Talk to you later.